Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and good evening. Thank you for joining Sohu's second quarter 2020 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After management's prepared remarks, there will be a question and answer session. Today's conference call is being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. And I'd like to turn the conference over to your host for today's conference call, Huang Pu, Investor Relations Director of Sohu. Please go ahead.
Thanks, operator. Thank you for joining us today to discuss Sohu's second quarter 2020 results. On the call are Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Zhang, CFO Joanna Lü, and Vice President of Finance James Deng. Also with us today are Changyou CEO Dewen Chen and CFO Yaobin Wang. Before management begins their prepared remarks, I would like to remind you of the company's safe harbor statement in connection with today's conference call. Except for the historical information contained herein, the matters discussed here on this conference call may contain forward-looking statements. These statements are based on current plans, estimates, and projections, and therefore you should not place undue reliance on them. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. We caution you that a number of important factors could cause actual results to differ materially from those contained in any forward-looking statement. For more information about the potential risks and uncertainties, please refer to the company's filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, including the most recent annual report on Form 20-F. With that, I will now turn the call over to Dr. Charles Zhang. Charles, please proceed.
Thank you, Huang. Thank you for everyone for joining our call. In the second quarter of 2020, our brand advertising business performed well. The brand advertising revenue had a decent increase, up 48% quarter over quarter. Both the brand advertising revenue and the bottom line exceeded our prior guidance. During the quarter, we integrated our media portal's brand advantage and influence with Sohu Video's advanced live broadcast technologies. These initiatives allowed us to more effectively generate and distribute our high-quality original content and further enhanced our credibility with reflecting the attitude and values of Sohu. For Changyou, the privatization was completed on April 17, 2020. And after that, Changyou's net income and loss was wholly attributable to Sohu.com Limited. During the second quarter 2020, online game revenues met our prior guidance and declined quarter over quarter, mainly due to the resumption of work following the easing of COVID-19 restrictions. For Sohu, it delivered inline results in the second quarter with search maintaining a steady share of traffic and mobile keyboard input further expanding its DAU base. Before I go into more detail about our key financial results, please be reminded that for the second quarter 2020, Changyou recognized an additional $88 million accrual for withholding income tax, since Changyou changed its policy for its PRC subsidiaries for the distribution of cash dividends after the completion of the privatization. In addition, back in the third quarter of 2019, last year, Changyou's cinema advertising business ceased operations. Unless indicated otherwise, the results that we will discuss today exclude the impact of the above-mentioned withholding income tax and the cinema advertising business. So now, for the second quarter of 2020, total revenues were $421 million, down 9% year over year and 3% quarter over quarter. Brand advertising revenues, $38 million, down 14% year over year, up 48% quarter over quarter. Search and search-related advertising revenues, $241 million, down 13% year over year and up 1% quarter over quarter. Online game revenues, $106 million, up 4% year over year and down 21% quarter over quarter. GAAP net loss attributable to Sohu.com Limited was $80 million. Excluding the impact of the additional accrual of the withholding income tax described above, GAAP net income attributable to Sohu.com Limited was $8 million, compared with a net loss of $35 million in the second quarter of 2019 and a net loss of $20 million in the first quarter of 2020. Excluding the impact of additional accrual of withholding income tax described above, non-GAAP net income attributable to Sohu.com Limited was $11 million income. Further, excluding the loss generated by Sohu, non-GAAP net income attributable to Sohu.com Limited was $12 million, compared with a net loss of $41 million in the second quarter of last year and a net loss of $8 million in the first quarter of 2020. So now let me go through some of our key businesses. First, Media Portal and Sohu Video. For Media Portal, we continue to consolidate our core competitiveness and credibility as a mainstream media platform by generating and distributing news and premium content. We also continue to upgrade the quality of our content and recommendation algorithms to provide users with broader and a more personalized experience. As a result, we saw the consumption of content increase significantly during the second quarter. For video, we continue to strengthen our long-form and short-form so-called two-engine strategy. For the long-form original content, we released the two original idol romance dramas. One is the High School Big Bang, 我成了他的班主任, and also another one is My Dear Lady, 你成功地引起了我的注意, which were well received by audiences and gained widespread attention. For short-form content, we further strengthened our live broadcast capabilities. We're being able to establish a good reputation with our medical and health areas, live broadcasters, by generating and distributing accurate and reliable information in these areas. We'll continue to push forward in this area while proactively exploring new opportunities in other verticals. On the monetization side, we kept exploring new monetization opportunities by integrating the brand influence of our media portal with Sohu Video's advanced broadcast technologies. During the quarter, we successfully hosted several events that integrated both online and offline features. We launched a new live broadcast series called Boss Plus 1+1, where we invited industry celebrities to share the inside views on the economy and the market wherever they are, using the live broadcast sharing technology. We also successfully hosted the Sohu Tech 5G Summit and Sohu News Marathon, which broke geographical boundaries and provided participants with broader views and a greater user experience wherever they are. In June and July, we moved further toward the field of e-commerce by hosting the Best of Sister selection live from Sohu, 姐姐的好物分享. We invited celebrities to share their thoughts on life while recommending premium goods. The favorite, the products, the goods they use. We have seen a number of positive results from these new initiatives, given that they are providing advertisers with a variety of marketing strategies that fit the current moment and meet general public demand. Going forward, we'll continue to diversify our revenue sources and actively explore new opportunities to secure advertising dollars. Next, let's talk about Changyou. For the second quarter of 2020, online game revenues decreased for quarter-over-quarter and met our prior guidance, mainly due to a decrease in player engagement as a result of the work resumption following the eased COVID-19 pandemic in China. For PC games, Changyou launched a new expansion pack of TLBB PC during the quarter with various anniversary events, and also new maps and dungeons that were developed using advanced rendering technologies. All of this new content served to greatly improve the user experience. For mobile games, an expansion pack of Legacy TLBB Mobile's 3-year anniversary was launched during the quarter. The newly introduced gameplay, which allowed players to explore randomly generated content, was also well received. For the third quarter of 2020, Changyou will focus on stabilizing player engagement, and roll out in-game reward-giving events and fresh content for TLBB PC and legacy TLBB Mobile. Looking ahead, Changyou will continue to focus on executing its core strategy of top games. MMORPG mobile games will remain a key strategic focus, while we are also scanning the market for opportunities across various genres as we look to diversify our product portfolio. Meanwhile, we'll also increase expanding our efforts overseas. Currently, several key games are being developed and prepared for launch. We believe Changyou will bring more quality games for players in the future. Lastly, let me talk about Sohu. Despite great challenges under the COVID-19 pandemic, Sohu has been proactively upgrading its development strategy to focus on generating more user value and building out a business that is oriented toward a long-term value and growth. In the second quarter of 2020, Sohu delivered inline results with healthy momentum in its core search and mobile keyboard businesses. Sohu Search maintained a steady share of traffic and reinforced its position as China's second-largest search engine. Mobile keyboard further expanded its DAU base to 484 million, maintaining the third-largest Chinese mobile app in terms of DAUs, according to iResearch. In addition, its AI hardware business recorded solid growth during the quarter. Going forward, Sohu will further boost AI empowerment and synergies across their businesses while continually drive technological advances. Now let me turn the call over to Joanna, our CFO, who will walk you through our financial results. Joanna.
Thank you, Charles. I will walk you through the key financials of our four major segments for the second quarter of 2020. All of the numbers that I will mention are all on a non-GAAP basis. You can find a reconciliation of non-GAAP to GAAP measures on our IR website. The Sohu Media Portal. Quarterly revenues were $22 million, down 7% year-over-year and up 49% quarter-over-quarter. The quarterly operating loss was $18 million, compared with an operating loss of $38 million in the same quarter last year. For Sohu Video, quarterly revenues were $22 million, up 6% year-over-year and down 4% quarter-over-quarter. The quarterly operating loss was $10 million, compared with an operating loss of $23 million in the same quarter last year. For Changyou, quarterly revenues, including 17173, $109 million, up 3% year-over-year and down 20% quarter-over-quarter. Changyou posted an operating profit of $37 million, compared with an operating profit of $38 million in the same quarter last year. For Sohu, quarterly revenues were $261 million, down 14% year-over-year and up 2% quarter-over-quarter. Net loss was $6 million, compared with net income of $28 million in the same quarter last year. For the third quarter of 2020, we expect brand advertising revenues to be between $37 million and $42 million. This implies an annual decrease of 9% to 20% and a sequential decrease of 3% to a sequential increase of 11%. Online game revenues to be between $85 million and $95 million. This implies an annual decrease of 12% to 21% and a sequential decrease of 10% to 20%. Excluding profit loss generated by Sohu, non-GAAP net loss attributable to Sohu.com Limited to be between $10 million and $20 million, and GAAP net loss attributable to Sohu.com Limited to be between $50 million and $25 million. This forecast reflects Sohu's management's current and preliminary view, which is subject to substantial uncertainty, particularly in view of the potential ongoing impact of COVID-19 virus, which remains difficult to predict. Lastly, Please be reminded that we won't take questions regarding any Sohu business updates and Tencent's non-binding proposal for Sohu privatization in the Q&A session. And this concludes our prepared remarks. Operator, we would now like to open the call to questions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question now, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press the pound or hash key. Once again, it's star 1 for questions. Our first question comes from the line of Eddie Leung from Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Please ask your question.
Hey, good evening, guys. Just 2 quick questions. The first one is about broadcasting. I think Charles, you mentioned that there has been some synergy from using the influencer as well as broadcasting. Wondering if you have any operating metrics or financial share with us on the performance of broadcasting you achieved in the quarter, and how's it growing into third quarter? So that's my first question. The second question is about games. I also think you mentioned that after people returning to work, there has been some weakness in the game industry in general. So just wondering whether we have seen some stabilization on that front, and as we enter summer, which traditionally should be a good quarter in general for the game industry. Any color on the general industry trend of game industry into third quarter would be great. Thanks.
So Eddie, your first question is about live broadcasting, right?
Yes.
So we have quite a I think on a daily basis with dozens of influencer to broadcast, and then there's probably 10 or 20 that we actually using our platform to market them. So there's so these are the live broadcast, we're using general push to to market about 10 broadcasts. Then we call it a value broadcasting, or we call it where the people from the medical health industry or lifestyle or cosmetic industry or those kind of influencer to teach people and to about knowledge, things, information. And then we have a few top live broadcasts, like myself participate. Each month we do 3 or 4 with some top celebrities, and to basically share the life experience and some products, and then we are able to connect our chat room or live broadcast room to e-commerce platform like Jingdong or Taobao and others, so that when a celebrity recommend some products they use, then the users can click that small shopping cart to be delivered directly to the e-commerce platform to purchase. So we're not so because of this transaction-based advertising, basically and also we actually give some reward or some kind of lottery for people to click, so that it's not really the sales volume of those products. It's really the whole the chat room's popularity and also the celebrities' recommendation or verbal recommendation or those kind of things is a good advertising that become a good reason for some big advertisers spend money on our overall advertising. So this is a central part of the whole contract. Am I answering your question, Eddie?
Yes. So basically, there is no direct e-commerce revenue, I think, right? So Charles, you are using the content to attract advertising in general. That's actually the current business model.
There is the e-commerce revenue because the advertisers they give us a deep discount. Because so actually why it becomes so popular and people are really coming to this chat room because they are getting the best price online, because the Jingdong and Taobao those or the advertiser they are willing, because this is really good for the brand, they are willing to give the deepest discount to us. So that price difference is considered to be our e-commerce revenue.
I see.
But that's
understood.
I'm saying that's not a big part. The main part is really the total advertising dollar that the advertiser spent, and it drives the whole contract. Like it's become a very important component of our overall contract. Let's say if a car company or auto company spend like 3 million US RMB advertising in this contract, probably like 1 million was spent on this chat room advertising, and also we are able to get that 3 million contract because we have this component. It's very creative and it's very everyone are talking about this.
Yes, understood. And any color on the industry trend of games heading into summer, which traditionally a strong quarter would be helpful. Thanks.
So people are compared with Q1, people are spending less time at home, and also actually people are, because of the declining economy, people have less disposable income, right? The two reasons that right? 这个你说吧。
是，首先这个疫情期间不同的公司、不同的游戏受到的影响不一样，因为畅游呢主要是重度的游戏，然后付费呢主要靠大额的付费，所以在第一季度我们疫情是对我们是有利的，但是从第二季度开始，其实整个经济受到影响，大额的付费也会受到很多的影响，所以可以看到我们在第二季度的时候其实 APA 是下降了一些。那我们认为第三季度应该会相对比较稳定吧，因为其实疫情在国内已经稳定了一段时间了。
First of all, during the pandemic, there are different gaming companies and different genres of games. So we got different impact caused by the pandemic. For mostly our games are MMO, hardcore RPG games. So we rely on those whale players or higher paying users. So we benefited from the restrictions in the first quarter. But during the second quarter, we saw some pressures on the economy. So we saw some pressure on the players' investment in games. So you can see that from the data in the second quarter, we had a declined APA number. So, but we expect in the third quarter it will be stabilized.
Got it. Thank you. 谢谢德文。
So my question is stabilized, but the earning is less because of the cost increase, right? Because of the marketing of.
我们说第三季度平稳是整个行业，不是指餐饮。
The industry will be more stabilized.
The industry might stabilize. 不是 in particular 畅游 specific. Okay. Yeah. All right. Next.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Thomas Chong from Jefferies. Please ask the question.
Hi, thanks management for taking my questions. I think first, I have a question about the 3Q brand advertising guidance. Given that is negative 3% to positive over 10% sequential growth. I'm just wondering under what circumstances would we expect to hit the low end and the high end of the guidance? And can you comment about the ad spending among different categories? And my second question is about the China and the U.S. tension. Does that have any impact to our revenue coming from international advertisers? Thank you.
Answer your second question. We don't have a. You mean international advertiser?
Like those international brands.
No impact. International brands are still in that advertising China.
FMCG increases 还是不错，就是。
FMCG actually increased. So for international advertising, they actually increased their advertising. Yeah, it's actually better. So to answer your second question, your first question, I think the wide range of the range, right, of the forecast depends on really the COVID-19 situation, the economy, and yeah. So we'll continue our innovative product innovation and user-based development so that trying to have momentum, but the economy and the uncertainties. So that would give a wide range of forecast.
I see. Thanks, Charles. Is there any color about our key categories? Is the momentum similar to what we saw recently?
I think it's a Euro allocation, like auto industry, and then auto. I think then FMCG fast moving consumer goods, and internet services like e-commerce. Yep. Yeah, e-commerce. I think e-commerce is number 2, right? Auto is number 1. E-commerce is number 2, and the FMCG. Yeah. And then some IT companies, right? Yeah. And then followed by financial industry sectors, right? Financial industry. Real estate. Yeah, real estate also. Yeah, that's the Euro rank. Yeah, the ranking of this spending.
I see. Got it. Thank you, Charles.
Okay.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Alicia Yap from Citigroup. Please ask your question.
Hi. Thank you. Good evening, Charles and management. Thanks for taking my question. I have 2 questions. One is that following the closer integrations of your ad system and also the sales team between the Sohu Video and Sohu Portal. So could you elaborate and help us to understand more the future prospect of Sohu Portal? What is your plan and aspiration to transform the Sohu Portal to become to? And then the second question is on your video content strategy. So assuming you are getting more cash, will you spend more money in video content production again, or will you actually continue your strategy on cutting the loss on the video business? Thank you.
Yeah, we have our now clear strategy for both our key application. That means the portal, the Sohu News app, and the Sohu Video app. Well, we have other H5 based Shouji Sohu and also PC. That's another but our focus is really on the Sohu News app and the Sohu Video app. On the Sohu News app, the product innovation will mostly focus on the 2 information delivery mechanism. One is really will continue to have high quality content, editorial content, and original content, and also content with collaborators. But the delivery through editorial delivery plus the machine delivery, basically the algorithm, will continue to improve the algorithm so that news becomes so relevant to each individual users and information, and also the percentage of video content in the information stream The second delivery is also our focus is really the social network. I mean, social media delivery. Basically, people are followers and those kind of. We have a different channel for that. That's the two areas that we believe will be the driver for our news apps user growth. And for video, the long form content is this drama, and then the short form is really the short video clips, like basically the YouTube type. People are actually upload short video, and people also produce short video by live broadcasting. Live broadcasting as a way to produce short form, or not even short form. Sometimes people broadcast for 1 hour and then become a 1 hour replay. So these are also the two type of, and then the delivery also there is the front pages editorial delivery, and also we have also this 关注流, this social media delivery. These are especially the social media delivery, the following followers and the tweet, retweet, those kind of is our focus. And then the synergy of these two apps. For live broadcast, we do not allow the news app to reinvent the wheel to have a live broadcast feature, but the whole company has only the live broadcasting feature at the Sohu video app, and the other user base will be, the traffic will be driven to the news app, to the video app. That's the synergy where like some of those are live broadcast, because previously before the Sohu video app had well known for its TV drama and US American dramas, but now it's now established as one of the key live broadcast app, and also some kind of key breaking news app, the video news, and then people using the news app are more likely to watch this kind of content, and then there's a link or a direct link between the two apps, so that people using news app can directly one click away just enter into the live broadcast room to watch those live broadcast content, video content of news type or other knowledge type instead, not just the long form of the video drama. So it's kind of complicated, and I think I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking at basically a matrix of user base with the two apps specializing in its features and the content form, and also the H5 手机搜狐 with the more the traditional PC, and the PC and the 手机搜狐 on the more traditional browsing activities. So it's a matrix of content, and then for video and live broadcast, all the traffic will be diverted into the video app. Yeah.
So that means we are not going to spend more money in the long form content production again, right?
We in the last few years we've been able to manage to generate to produce some in terms of 小而美, like some low budget TV series episodes, and then but could be a hit. We've done this many times. So if we have more money, we're not going to spend like we did in 2017 or 2016, spend a lot buying a lot of very expensive content, but probably will increase the density or frequency of a number of TV series per quarter. Like in 2019, or let's say that the first 2 quarters, we only have 3 TV episodes, right? TV drama. Then at the current pace, in the next half of this year, we'll also only have another two or three.
Yeah.
But with more money, we'll probably only double that. That means we probably have instead of 5 or 6 TV dramas a year, we probably have 10 to 12. So that means not a lot of increase of spending on the long form. So our video business growth most will be driven by the short form user upload, UGC content, and the live broadcast. And any TV dramas will be an opportunity to develop new users because it's exclusive content here, so that a lot of users will come here to watch our new TV dramas, and then they will stay because they not only watch that TV drama, they find a lot of other social network features, so they will stay. So yeah, that's our strategy.
Okay, great. Thank you, Charles. Very helpful.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question now, please press star 1 on your telephone. All right, there are no further questions. Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our conference for today. Thank you for participating. You may all disconnect.